Big hello to you, my friend. Welcome back to Rising World. I'm the Radio Man 03, and it is awesome to have you along. Before we get any further into this episode, I want to sing a big shout out to Mattias Frew. I believe that's how you say that last part there. Mattias, last episode gave us a great tip to be able to make roads like this. We've got a little bit of stone going on here, a little bit of gravel, a little bit of light gravel and kind of dirt going on. And he gave me a tip that I'd not heard yet that is absolutely fantastic, and I want to share that with you in case you did not read the comment. But it is awesome. Very, very awesome. Let's go up here in front of the blacksmithy. We're going to kind of work on this road. Doesn't the road look great this way? A little bit of stone, a little bit of gravel like that. So what you do is you grab your gravel, and then you hit page down, and that's going to put your grid right flat with the ground. Right click, and boom, look at this. Look what we can do now. We can just paint the ground with the gravel. It works out just so fantastic like this. Right? Is that cool or what? No more, I've been digging holes and then trying to get the ground to level out again and stuff like that, which doesn't create a bad path. I mean, you get some unleveled places and leveled places and things like that, but we could do this, and we can actually change the ground with the gravel. So that's what I've been doing. I've been on here for about an hour just kind of fooling around with this. After he told me this, I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get in there and try that out. And then what we can do is come back with the stone. Once you switch the material, you have to hit page down again, okay? And then you can right-click with this, and you can come back in, and you could fill in some of these little places with stone. And it really creates an awesome-looking path. We got a little bit of grass showing here and there, don't we? Like that. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So let's get some more stone out of here. We'll take the small stack for now. And again, you've got to go, every time you switch, you got to go back to page down to bring that grid back down onto the ground like so. Just level with the ground. And you can come back through here like so and do this sort of thing. We're going to leave some of that looking choppy. A little bit dirt. And we'll do that too. We'll leave that there. And we'll put a little bit of stone right there next to the hitching post. Like that. And like so. And oh, Mattias, this tip is absolutely fantastic. I love this one. This has been a real godsend. So I think we got to go page down here. Yeah, page down. We get kind of to the angle there, like so, like that. And then you got to bring it page up. And you can bring it back up this way. Yeah, it works out really great. And it just makes for a very neat, unique looking road for sure. This needs to be straightened up. We'll probably dig some of this out and stuff because we are going to get started on the stable today, but I had to share that with you right there. So again, pick your material, hit page down, and it's going to bring your grid right back all the way down to the ground. And you could just walk through here, and you could paint the ground any color you want like so. And then if you don't like what you've done, you can always take dirt and go right back over it again, and boom, you can fix it and put it all back to dirt again. It's really fantastic. We need to get rid of this grass right here, like so, like that, and then we can bring this back up, I hope. Oh boy. Oh boy. We can't. Let's see what we do here. Let's see what happens. When I get this stone back, I don't want to lose it. Like that, and then I guess what I can do is take some dirt. I've got dirt on number 3, and I can come in here and keep that grid down there like so. I guess if we bring it up a little bit, we should be able to level this out nicely, hopefully. I want to come back up this way. That's good. That works. There we go. Okay, that fixes that. We got a little bit of an indentation right here, but remember we're gonna close in the mine so that it's got a structure here to it. So yeah, we'll work on that a little bit later. That's not that important. It was out front here, this road. I was trying to think of what to do about the road, and Iwa had suggested that, a really good thing to do for the road too would be you would like chisel out a little groove right here and chisel out a groove right here. Say that's from where the carts have rolled back and forth up and down the road. But I think that's going to be difficult to pull off. I've not tried that yet, and I probably will give it a shot at some point in time to just kind of give it that look. But I don't know if I can pull that one off. We'll toy with that later. Right now, I just wanted to share Mattias's tip because that is just it's fantastic. It really makes for a neat road. A little blurry, but as you walk over it, it does look really nice with the gravel and the stone and a little bit of dirt and stuff. And not to mention, it matches up with the entranceway really nice. I think it does a great job of just kind of blending into where you've got your build started. So yeah, again, Mattias, thank you so much for that tip. It was absolutely fantastic. All right, so today, what I've done so far, it is a Saturday. I'm going to post a video up over the weekend for Rising World because we missed on Friday. Variety and I got all the leaves cleaned up in our yard, so we're all done with that yard work. So we got that taken care of on Friday, so I didn't get a chance to record. I have put a couple of Skyrim episodes up, so we've got those to watch right now, but I do want to get one up of these over the weekend for you. Let's take our rake out of the inventory. Let's put our hammer back in. We do not need our axe either right now. Where did I put all this stuff? I went out and I cut down a bunch of trees. We're going to need a bunch of wood. Let's do this here and here. And I've got a little something I want to try out different today. A little something. Ooh, we got some more lumber right there. Let's grab that as well. And let's go ahead and put the dirt away, the gravel. I found one of those little water holes you find out in the wild, just out in the middle of nowhere. Actually, it was back over the mountain over this side here. What I did was I went down into it and I dug. There's a bunch of gravel underneath those. And then as I got further down, of course, the water is static, so it stayed above my head so I could breathe down there. I went ahead and dug into the side to get dirt and gravel. So I'll have to show that to you sometime. I think that's going to be a great way to be able to get those two resources without causing any above ground damage. All right, so this is what we've got going on so far. I don't want these guys to be our posts. This was just to kind of map this out. I've got a different idea that I want to try out today with some different shaped blocks from what we've done in the past for our stable. I wanted to give it a kind of a unique look. So we're gonna give that a shot today and see what we think of it. As a matter of fact, why don't I go ahead and get started on it, and then I'll bring you back when I've got some progress made, and we'll talk about which direction we're going with this. All right, welcome back. I thought we might try something that was built out of some larger poles. So I took and used the number 66 post, plank, I should say. Here, let's just show you right over here real quick. These guys right here. I took these, used the circular to give it just kind of that, sort of like a tree was just, the bark was shaved off of it. And then I put them on a nice solid stone foundation, which would be smart to do. I mean, it would give it some good solidness. And then we've got our pens now inside here. And this is the dirt block. This is the loam dirt block right here on the ground. I thought that might look pretty good in here. We'll see how it does at the end. And right now what I'm doing is I'm kind of getting the supports put together for the inner area. That's going to be, you know, these are the pens for the horses right here. So like so, and then we've got that one right there. I've got the grid on, so that helps, of course, you know, get them lined up perfectly like that. And now we can come over on this side here. No, we want to go out this way. And see, just is that, these guys should fit in here just fine as well. Yeah, there we go, just like that. That works out perfect. And it should be a pretty good building. It comes together real nice. I mean, you can see it snapping together just fine like so. Let's get those off of there. So far, yeah, it's going to have a nice sturdy look to it in terms of a little stable back here. Also, I'll look it up before we talk about the watering trough that we were working on last episode. Somebody had a good suggestion. We're going to try it out on that, but I want to make sure I get the person's name and stuff so we make mention of that. Oh, you know what? We got a problem right there with this one. This one's sticking out. This one didn't do that, but the other one did. Did it stick out on this end? No, isn't that weird? Just the one did it. Huh. Crazy. I wonder why this one popped out. Shouldn't have. Let's do the grid again. And let's hit control and see if it's going to do that again. If not, we can shrink it down. Well, that time it didn't do it. You know what? I know what it did. It overlapped what was hanging through on this side, and that's what caused it to go on the outside of there. So we've got that there. So I think one other thing we should probably do, since this is going to be for horses mainly, we can leave this just the way it was, and let's shrink the beam back down, make it smaller, and we'll come back in here and we'll do something like, you probably want it up a little bit higher, right? Up like so. I would think, about like that. to keep the horses penned into their own enclosures, like so. And I'm going with a really rusty old wood because, you know, this is horses. They're going to be doing a little wear and tear on the stuff and everything. There we go. Let's shrink this down just a bit so it fits in here better. There we go. And now we should be able to snap these guys into place. There we go. Perfect. Just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have an interesting roof on here too, I think. It should be pretty cool. We need some more of those guys. That's okay. We've got time for it. Hope everyone's doing good. I'm doing great. I'm doing just great today. Just great. Just great. What else do we have? Made up a bunch more of these. Do I even... Oh, here we go. Okay, grid. Perfect. Let's take a step back and look at that and see how that looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. And then we'll do the roof line coming up. I don't know how high I want to go with it. That's what I'm going to have to break away and kind of take a look at and see how I feel about a roof on here and what kind of roof I'm looking for. We also have to build off the back end of here kind of a small little storage area. I left these blocks right here where we were. I don't know that we need to go out this far with it, but we do want kind of a tack and feed room back here with a door to it. I don't even know if we need windows in it, really. We probably will, just to give the structure some interest. So we probably will have a window on the ends of it. But yeah, it should come down, and I don't even know if it's going to stretch the same distance as this building. We really don't need that big of a room in here for this. So what we could do possibly is go like so. We'll go 5. That way we've got an even number on the inside, and come down like so, and like that, and make this just the feed and tack room, and then you'd come up here, go out the door, and you're out the room. But I don't know that we need this to stretch all the way down here, and we'll just put a little tiny roof on here. It does not have to be a big room, like I said. It's just for feed and tack with a few chests and stuff in it, and that should work out pretty good. But that's the progress so far. So let me check on who had an idea for the water trough here. I'll get that name, and then we'll give that a shot, and then I'll come back and we'll work on getting you know, a little bit more of this further along. So stick around. I'll be right back. Welcome back. All right, as you can see, it's done. It's pretty much done. We'll talk about this. Well, let's talk about this right away. The water trough. Trevor Thomas thought maybe stairs would be a better choice for the walls on this, and I know it doesn't look perfect. I just thought we'd try it out and take a look at it, and it would work much better. It does hide the water from coming through the outside. Thing is, this is such an odd shape that we've got stairs on this side that are actually in here, and then these are just halfway in. So that's just modifying it and changing it around and adjusting the size of it. Right now, though, it appears like it would be too big for this area, just too big. So I'll have to figure out something to do for water troughs. I haven't come up with an idea yet, but when I do, I'll share that with you, and we'll revisit that idea. The rest of the structure is done. We've got our street light out front here, just so people can find their way to the stable. We have an outdoor fenced-in area. Like I said, we'll tear this out, and I'll get rid of that water, so we have a little more space here. I think I am going to put a cow in here and then block this off, and we'll have a cow inside this. We've got big round poles, logs with the bark peeled off that are just kind of holding this up, and then we've got great big beams that make up the ceiling. I've got the wooden bolts that are be used to be, you know, hold everything together, and then we've got the individual stalls. This is actually a grate. Let's go back to the workbench so I can show you what that is. I thought that made a pretty good looking kind of a fence type thing, so that's what I use those for. If we go to not barriers, if we go to banisters, yeah, it's this guy right down here, the 2x2 wood. It's pretty nice, and they've got a multiple, you know, versions of it, so it's pretty sweet. But let me pull it up for you and so you can see it. But it's even got little tiny bits of metal on each of these little areas here, so it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I think it's pretty cool. So I use those for the gates, and I think I might use a couple for in front here too, to kind of seal that off until we get gates. That was one thing I think I would like to see, is fence gates, and just a variety of different gates would be nice. So here's our fenced in area out front for a little, you know, overflow livestock that may be here. I use the loam dirt for the ground, and we've got 4 stalls in here for 4 different horses or 4 different animals of whatever we may have. The trickiest part of this build was the shed out back here, the feed and tack shed, and we'll get to that in just a second. I just want to make sure you guys can kind of see the beam ceiling and how it's all put together. I think it looks pretty good. I need to put a few more of these guys, like one up in here and one up in there. I think I've got them outside here, don't I? Yeah, see, I need to add these guys on the inside. Do I have any more of these? I don't. Okay, so I've got it. Well, let's see. Do I have any inside this chest right here? I do. I've got 10. So as I'm walking around, if I can see that we need to put a few more of these in, we'll do that. Oh, small, 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 very small. There we go. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. I'm really happy with it. I like how it looks in here. It fits pretty tight between these 2 builds, but it also pulls this street together pretty nice. The way it tucks back in there like that. You've got these storefronts here, like we've got the smithy here, and we've got the inn there. But here you got the stable, and it kind of sits back a little bit, but it pulls this whole street together. Idea that I have is to build like our stuff. Our stuff in the game is all over the place right now. It's a little bit of chests here, a little bit of chests there. I think what I want to do is build sort of like a, not so much a warehouse as maybe like a general store looking building right here on this side of the street. And then we'll have multiple chests on shelves that will have all of our materials stored in. That way they're all in one area. So when I get done building something, I just walk back to this main build and we put everything in the chest there. We'll have the wood, the stone, you know, fence posts, things like that, all that stuff, planks, beams, in one building right here. And I think that would be pretty cool because, well, we've got to figure out the road too. Eventually there is going to be, the road is going to jut off this way. We're going to have a path this way, Mr. Moose. And I believe we're going to cut, yeah, we're going to cut right up through here, and the Lord House is going to go up here. I guess the Jarl is what we could call him, huh? Since we're playing some Skyrim, too. Maybe the Jarl's house goes right up in this area here. So, you know, it'll be up here. Well, you know, I don't think we wanted to be up this way, did we? I'm trying to remember just where we were. Okay, it's over this way, actually. Let's go over here real quick. Yeah, it was up in here. Okay, right. There is a pool of water right back in here. So the Jarl's house is going to be back here. So there's actually going to be quite a path that leads over this way and then down the hill. So I guess actually the end of the Smithy Road, right here by the mine, is where the road will kind of cut right through here and go up to the Jarl's house up on the hill. So that'll be kind of cool. Let's go and take a look at the feed and tack place. You guys have not seen that. I get myself sidetracked here. I did sort of a retaining wall right here to shore this up, and we'll put grass right through in here. And this will be all cleaned up, and I'll get that taken care of. Oh my gosh, look at this little flaw right here. There we go. Boom. Takes care of that. And we got one here. Oops, nope. Get that there. Gotta fix this up real quick. I was wondering why I kept getting stuck underneath there. There we go. Did I get the other side, or did it even need one? Yeah, the other side's fine. So as you come through the stable, you have a little feed and tack shed right here. This is all done with beams and planks, the whole thing. Let me get this out of my inventory so I've got a clean hand for you. Beams and planks. By just taking the plank and getting this right size I wanted to, and then shifting and clicking and dragging across here. And then I just tacked up boards like this to make it look really like, you know, just a shed. It's just a shed. They had a few planks left. They covered up some holes and gaps like that to make it look just kind of old and rustic, you know. And it's just a shed, so they didn't spend a whole lot of time putting it together. It's just supposed to keep things dry. But that's it right there, with a little roof on top. Let's go on inside of it. And you can see I've got a few things in my inventory I wanted to put in here. Let's put our chest right here. Ooh, we need a drink of water too. Grid. Like so. There we go. We'll put a chest right there. And then I actually have a couple of small chests, crates, and then I have a barrel as well. So let's put the barrel right in here. Again, we'll spin that around so the arrow is out. Like, oop, let's make sure that's not in the walls. Like that, and a couple of crates. And we'll put this one in front of the barrel. How's that sound? Right about here. There we go. Beautiful, huh? Yeah, now we got a little bit of storage in here as well. But like I said, I think I'd like to have one building. This is just for looks. But there we go. We've got ourselves a little tiny storage shed with the old creaky nasty door on it. But yeah, it came together pretty good and pretty fast too. You know, I tried to leave a lot of imperfections in the shed just to give it that old look. You see how it doesn't quite reach up to the top of the door well and stuff. It's got that beat up old door. The slats actually have got gaps in it so you can actually see inside the shed. So, you know, for all intents and purposes, it does what it's supposed to do, and it keeps stuff pretty dry in there, and that's its entire job. And then, of course, we've got a nice roof here to keep these horses and stuff all comfortable, but it's open and airy so that, you know, they can... doesn't stink, basically, right? So it doesn't stink. So that is a look at the stable. It's a one-day build. It took me about 4 hours to put it together. I'm getting a little bit faster now with the building, so that's kind of nice. But it came together pretty fast. Like I said, the most difficult part was the shed out back because it was all stick-built, basically. It wasn't just blocks. It was beams and planks, and that took a little bit of time to work out and figure out and then get the roof on and stuff like that. But I think overall it came out pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Between that and the way our roads are going to look now, I mean, I'm really excited about the roads. This is looking really nice. The only thing I want to see on this side of the street right now is a little more work. I've added some stone along here. I want to get the grass going, and I want to get grass down here with a little bit of stone work in here, and just kind of clean up the storefront a little bit. So as we're walking along here, there's a lot of eye-interesting, catching things along the edge here. And then when we get up here, of course, this is all going to be swapped out. We'll probably bring this land down and kind of meet up with that. I'll rake this down a little bit. Let's see, do I have the rake on me? I do. Let me see if I can kind of explain what I'm talking about here. Just to kind of bring this down. Oh, this has got stone in it now, so it's not going to behave. Like so. Yeah, and then I can put the dirt in there and bring this back up. But, yeah, so the road will kind of, you know, stick kind of straight to along here. And then you'll come up a little... You come up the path right here. Boom. And in you are. In you go. In you are. Yeah. In you go right into the stable. So there it is. Yeah. Spruceford Landing Stable. Ooh, I'm very thirsty right now. Let's get some water. There we go. One more drink. There we go. Hope you like it. You know, feedback, always, of course, welcome. Give me some feedback if you've got any as to what else we could do with this, if anything at all. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I like it a lot. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, and share on the Radio Man 03. Have an awesome, fantastic, and superb day. And I look forward to talking to you again next time.